Welcome back to Unlock, Empower, and Transform with Che Blackmon, episode 11, and we're talking about something that makes most leaders break out in hives: innovation. You know what's fascinating? Everyone wants to be the next Google or Netflix, but nobody wants to create the culture that actually makes innovation possible. It's like wanting six-pack abs, but refusing to give up your nightly ice cream ritual. Today, we're diving into the innovation culture connection. And trust me, this isn't your typical think outside the box nonsense. Here's what kills me about organizational innovation. Companies spend millions on innovation labs, hire consultants, create fancy titles like Chief Innovation Officer, then wonder why nothing changes. You want to know why? Because you can't innovate your way out of a toxic culture. In Chapter 10 of High Value Leadership, I break down exactly how high value leaders create environments where innovation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with ping pong tables or brainstorming sessions with sticky notes. Let's discuss the 4 pillars of innovation culture. Let me share what actually works, based on 20 plus years of watching organizations either soar or crash and burn. First, psychological safety. This isn't about coddling people. It's about creating an environment where someone can say, hey, what if we tried this completely different approach without fear of being labeled not a team player? I've seen brilliant ideas die because people were more afraid of their manager than they were excited about innovation. Second, challenge-based learning. High-value leaders don't hand out solutions. They present complex problems and let their teams wrestle with them. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's exactly how breakthrough thinking happens. Third, innovation spaces. And no, I don't mean a funky room with beanbags. I mean designated time and resources for experimentation. When I worked with that automotive startup, we implemented Innovation Fridays, half-day sessions where teams could work on anything that might improve our processes. The ROI, 300% improvement in efficiency within 6 months. Fourth, learning through discourse. The best ideas rarely come from one genius in isolation. They come from diverse perspectives colliding in constructive ways. But here's the kicker. You need a culture that can handle healthy conflict without it turning into workplace warfare. Now, let's get practical. Here are 3 techniques you can implement tomorrow. The what if protocol. Start every project meeting with one what if question. What if we had unlimited budget? What if we had to do this in half the time? What if our biggest competitor already solved this? Watch how quickly this shifts thinking from limitations to possibilities. The failure portfolio. Create a shared document where teams document their failures and the lessons learned. Make it a badge of honor, not shame. One client started giving out bold failure awards. Guess what happened? Innovation shot through the roof. Cross-pollination sessions. Get your accounting team talking to your creative team, your IT folks brainstorming with HR. The magic happens when different perspectives collide. But warning, this only works if you've built that psychological safety first. Otherwise, it's just awkward small talk over stale coffee. Here's your action item. The Innovation Culture Quick Audit. 1. List the last 3 new ideas implemented in your organization. 2. For each idea, identify who proposed it, what level were they, how long from proposal to implementation. 3. Now the truth test. How many ideas died because of politics, fear, or that's not how we do things here? If you're struggling to fill out step 1, or if step 3 is a graveyard of good ideas, you don't have an innovation problem, you have a culture problem. Look, these techniques are just scratching the surface. In my High Value Leadership Intensive, we go deep into what I call innovation architecture, building systematic approaches to creativity that align with your specific industry and challenges. We're not talking about copying Silicon Valley. We're talking about creating your version of innovative culture. Because what works for a tech startup won't work for a healthcare system, and what transformed the Detroit Lions won't transform your financial services firm. The course shows you how to build innovation into your cultural DNA, not just bolt it on like a bad toupee. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Innovation isn't about genius ideas. It's about creating a culture where regular people feel safe enough to share their irregular ideas. It's about leaders who are secure enough to say, I don't know, what do you think? It's about building systems that nurture creativity instead of crushing it under the weight of how things have always been done. Want to assess your organization's innovation readiness? Download my Shield Resilience Strategy Guide because resilience and innovation are two sides of the same coin. Links in the show notes. And I want to hear from you. What's the best idea that died in your organization because of cultural resistance? Drop it in the comments. Let's have a moment of silence for all the innovations that never saw the light of day because culture killed them first. Next Tuesday, we're switching gears to talk about summer talent development, identifying and nurturing hidden potential. Because once you've built an innovative culture, you need to fill it with people who can actually innovate. Remember, you can't schedule innovation like a dental cleaning, but you can create the conditions where it happens naturally. Stop trying to force creativity and start fostering the culture that makes it inevitable. This is Che Blackmon reminding you to unlock your potential, empower your teams to innovate, and transform your culture from creativity killer to innovation incubator. See you Tuesday.